Also, yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Not great about this truck. It only has a 250-liter tank. Oh, crap. Alright, what's up, YouTube? This must be fast. 775 Gaming coming back to you guys to another episode of SNOWRUNNER Season 16. And yes, guys, today we're going to be checking out the Dragon Wagon pack. Why? Because I decided I was going to. That's why. I know I said I was going to do some stuff with the 440, but nah, this is cool. These things are cooler. But yeah, in all seriousness, I do really want to kind of just check them out. Just because obviously I spent the money on them. Yeah. So without any further introduction, if you could call that an introduction, we're really just going to get into it. I'll start talking about them as soon as we get on the road with them. And also the job that we're going to be attempting to complete with them is the only way, which is the access to gateway, which now that they've updated the game, which I don't know if you heard, they actually moved the positioning of the tunnels on season 16, so we no longer have a tunnel here, and we no longer have a tunnel here either. Yeah, we just have one tunnel going straight from Solace Bay to Selten River Mountains, which is pretty cool. It probably will help us quite a bit once we get that opened up, but I don't know. We'll have to see here. Yeah, so this is the Avenhorn. This is what we're going to be starting out here with today. So yeah, geez, it's got quite a long bonnet, doesn't it? Yeah, so we got three engine options here: V12, a V12 302. I'm assuming turbocharged, maybe, and then Niagara BH 2020. I think the real life thing that this thing was based off of had a V12 Cummins or something. I think, anyways. So yeah, those Columbus is obviously referencing Cummins. We don't get we don't get suspension. We can't raise the suspension or anything. We just got a standard suspension, so that's fine, I guess. I was looking through what's it, Vlad Vulcan's spreadsheets on all the stuff in game, on all the stats or anything. So I will be talking a small bit about that throughout the episode. But yeah, I do believe we're gonna stick with the Avenhorn's own mud tires. I do believe they're a heavy set, and they're also significantly wider than most of the other tires that you can put on this thing, which is which is kind of cool. Probably help with stability quite a bit. Yeah, we'll stick those things on. We can have a spare wheel on this. Okay, that's nice. I didn't know that. I haven't checked these things out at all, just so people do know that. Yeah, we'll get those dual front snorkels on here. Even though the cab takes up a lot of space on the frame, it's still got a decent amount of frame options, to say the least. I think I'm going to stick that on the loading crane from the, whatchamacallit. You can have the loading crane from the Slaters on this thing, which is quite nice. You can on the Padera as well. And also where's the universe? Yeah, you see, this is the thing that I saw as well. You can actually have the kind of extra storage repair compartment with the crane on this truck, which is actually really nice. Not really a combination that you see too often. I mean, I know we have roof racks on a lot of DLC trucks, and you can have cranes with them, but still, there's nothing quite like this that we've seen, I don't think, anyways. Like, for example, we got the Freightliner, was it the FLD 120 there not too long ago, and that thing had a sort of sleeper cab kind of thing for storing spare parts, but we can't have the crane on the back of that truck when we have that sleeper cab installed. So yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting situation with that, anyways. Looking at visual things, yeah, we'll get ourselves a sun visor on here. We got a very bare kind of looking cab here, I would say. There's not much going on the top here. We don't have any lights or anything. And we actually have some pretty cool looking options, really, if I'm being honest. Can I only put on one thing at a time? Oh, that kind of sucks. Um, I'll put on those beacons then, because they look kind of cool. They seem extremely close to the exhaust pipes, though, if I'm being honest. I feel like in real life, if you had your beacons that close to your exhaust pipes, you'd probably melt them. Um, yeah, and then we also have some pretty giant bumper options for this thing, honestly. Actually, the crazy thing about the bumper options on this truck is that they actually have fuel in them. And yeah, it does seem to be the same amount of fuel in them. Yeah, we just get extra fuel, which is absolutely insane. I don't think it's like a truck straight out Expeditions. I don't think we've got any other truck in this game that can have fuel on its front bumper. Yeah, I think we'll go for that one just because it's got more ground clearance, and considering how much of a nose this truck has, I think ground clearance is going to be a kind of a priority that we're going to need to think about. Yeah, we'll get those small parking lights, and we can get horns on here. Oh, nice. Why doesn't it come with any of that stuff? Whatever. And then, yeah, it seems like I'll keep the flat caps on. I kind of like the flat caps on a lot of the older trucks. Yeah, we'll just keep the kind of the standard color scheme on it. Interestingly enough, I mentioned we got the crane on this truck from the Slaters, but they painted it red this time instead of the what color is it on the Slaters? I could have swore it was like blue or yellow. I just used this thing in the last episode. However, I've forgotten this already. Yeah, they're yellow. So for whatever reason, these guys get a different colored version of the crane. Alright guys, so I am actually going to start today's episode here with a pretty big cut. I am towing the Freightliner FLD here with me. This is going to be for another mission though. There's some kind of seismic job on the Selten River Mountains, so I'm just towing this truck out here so I don't have to drive it out when I do need it. Yeah, but I'm going to cut until I get to where the construction rig trailer is. It's not up in the top right at the moment because it is a staged mission, unfortunately, but I'm going to go after the construction rig trailer first anyways, considering I know where it is and that kind of thing. And, like, it doesn't really matter. I can still transport it and hook up to it and all that stuff, so, yeah. But since it's not going to be really too interesting to watch me drive without any cargo, and like I'm driving across all 3 maps here today, just like the last episode. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip until I get to the to where the trailer is. Windcliff Hydro Plant. All right, guys, I'm just about here. Yeah, this is actually my first time actually driving up kind of near the top of the dam here. We haven't even come close to coming across here, just plain and simply because the thing is broken, so there wasn't really any point in me coming up here, and it's, yeah, it takes a while before we can actually fix that. But there is what we came for, the construction rig trailer that is going to the going to the tunnel. It's still not marked, obviously, because we haven't done the first stage of the mission, but don't really care. We're gonna pick it up here anyways. However, on my journey over here, which went pretty well, the truck performs pretty well on its own anyways, so that's good. If we can just connect up here, that'd be nice. I don't know if I've lined that up very well. It's decent. On my way over here, I actually started to realize that getting this trailer out of this area might be more challenging than I initially realized. The main reason for that is, well, if we try to go this way, we can't. If we try to use the main road in this direction, we'll end up down here, and we can't cross that. If we try to go down the road and go down towards the concrete plant here, the road's blocked there as well, so we can't use that direction. I just actually came up this road here, and there's no way I'm getting this trailer through there, it becomes quite tight here, and there is quite a risky drop right here that I'm pretty sure, and you know, a sharp bend here, which I'm pretty sure I won't be able to get around without flipping the truck or falling down this kind of cliff area here. So yeah, that kind of leaves the question, what way can I actually drive? And I think the only way I can actually drive is down this way, at least at the moment. I haven't been down this road yet, but at least it seems to be fairly decent of a road. And if we go down here, we can get onto the road that actually takes you into the concrete plant. And once we're in the concrete plant, we can then drive up this way over here, kind of following the river around onto the main road. And then once we're there, we can take the main road for a short stretch down to here and cut across, once again following the river, in order to get back to the Selten River National Park tunnel. The reason why we can't continue on this way is because there's a pretty large power line down over here, which we still haven't fixed, even though we've had that mission available to us from like day one, so yeah, that's kind of on me. Yeah, that really seems like the most reliable route to me at the moment. So definitely some interesting sections that we'll have to overcome. Obviously, I'm not going to show all of this because that would just take way too long. But I'll try to show quite a bit of it anyways, just to kind of get a feel for how this truck handles. That's really what we're doing here today. It's just to kind of check out the truck, see how well it performs. Yeah, and this is kind of the heavy hauler of the two trucks in the pack, I would say anyways. Actually, hang on a second. Is there... Yeah, there is actually a scout yeah, it's right there. I just remembered from seeing that on the map. I do actually just want to refuel here quickly. Yeah, so this is kind of the main thing that I did really want to test with this truck specifically. The Padera will be kind of testing more as a flatbed truck as soon as we get around to it here, which, you know, hopefully all going well, shouldn't be too long. Yeah, because this is in heavy class, it's not really, it doesn't have too much add-on variety, like I was kind of saying. It has good amounts for kind of a heavy truck, kind of like this one, you know, with kind of a short frame. But yeah, it's still kind of limited in that area. But the nice thing about it is that it does have the crane and the high saddle option, which is very nice. And on top of that, like I was talking, the extra repair add-on, which is really nice. And even the fuel on the bumper is another thing that's just all kind of really unique for this truck, if I'm being honest. There's probably some other truck that probably is comparable to it that I'm just not thinking of, but you know, it is quite a... It does have quite, you know, kind of unique stuff in that kind of sense, and it's also quite a unique truck just in general. I mean, the thing that it's based off of, apparently, is something called Hendrickson, 1964's kind of era truck, and that's also sometimes called the Big Henry, or nicknamed as the Big Henry. I don't know too much about the truck. Like, the only things I really know is that the real truck had a Cummins, a V12 Cummins, I'm pretty sure. Like I said as well, in the garage. And also the cab is apparently stolen from an international harvester. Not exactly sure what kind of international harvester, but it's stolen from some kind of international harvester. Which kind of explains why the cab is so small on this giant truck. Like, if there is one thing I do have to say about the cabs on American trucks, it's that why are they always so small? Like, seriously, the cabs on American trucks are always seem to be quite small. They're never like the full width of the truck, if you know what I mean. they're not like European trucks where we just have the cabs the full width of the truck, you know, of the truck's like wheelbase and all that, and you know, you just have as much space as you can inside, you know, as little area as you can, really, because, well, in Europe, in European countries and Ireland, where I am, you have length limits on trucks, so you can't have big long noses like this thing, which this thing has a ridiculously long front on it. I mean, like, this is just comical. It looks like something I would draw as a 5-year-old. Oh, jeez, damage. That's actually something else that you actually do have to watch out for on this truck, damage. And actually, there's two things that are kind of common between this truck and the Padera. First of all, they've both got pretty low damage thresholds. I think the Avenhorn, at least when I was watching Nathan Province, I think he said that this truck has the worst damage threshold out of any other truck in the game. So essentially, what that means is it takes the least amount of damage before you start experiencing power loss out of any other truck in the game. So yeah, you do have to be careful with that. I think it can only take something like 60 or 70 something damage before you start experiencing power loss and fuel consumption problems. And then the other thing between this truck and the Padera that these two trucks both have in common is that they both have apparently very efficient high gears. Also, yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, what on earth is that barrier made out of? Is that, like, titanium? I'm surprised that didn't, like, catch on the trailer and then, like, yank me back or something like that, but okay. Collision model is just kind of like that. I get it's just kind of weird like that. Yeah, but that's the other thing. The two of these trucks apparently have extremely, and I do mean extremely, efficient high gears. Now, I don't really know what this means in the game, really. How well that's going to work out for both of these trucks. Obviously, this thing has a 400-liter fuel tank, and it's increased by I think it was 160 liters of fuel that's on the sides of the truck there, and also I'll have to double check how much fuel is in this thing. Universal compartment. Wait, did I refuel out of my universal compartment? Oh damn it! I thought I refueled out of my refueling truck. I thought I refueled out of that thing. Okay, never mind. I guess I used the fuel that was in it already. that's kind of funny. 300 and 160, so yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna pick up that drilling spare that's there. I'm just gonna bring it up to the road. I'm not gonna deliver it. I'm just gonna bring it up to the road with me just because I can. Technically, this is another scientific test that I'm doing because it's demonstrating how well you can overload cargo on this truck thanks to the extremely long front on it. But, like, no joke, that actually does seem to be quite stable on the front of that thing, which is quite nice. But yeah, apparently these two trucks have very efficient high gears. Now, I don't know if they're particularly fast high gears, but apparently they're really efficient for fuel, and apparently these things are pretty efficient on fuel to begin with as well. Like, I don't think I think they also lack a gearbox all-wheel drive penalty as well, which usually gearbox has in this game. Usually the gearbox has some kind of multiplier that kind of punishes you for using your all-wheel drive in the form of fuel consumption, but apparently these things lack that, which is kind of cool to say the least. But, like, at the same time, I really don't know what these engines are like, to say the least. Yeah, obviously this is my first time driving either of them, so I'm gonna have to use them quite a bit before I can really say whether or not those are useful things. And yeah, then in the terms of power, this thing is, or in like terms of power and power to weight, well, like this thing is A plus anyways. A plus in durability and C minus in fuel consumption. Those values don't always tell you that much, but they give you a general idea. The basic rundown of this thing's power to weight is that it's lighter than quite a few of the trucks that it would be kinda competing with in its kind of power area, I think, in the heavy class. And yeah, power wise, it's got something like, it's got 270,200 torque, I think, which is a weird number. Usually the torque values are kind of even numbers. Also, now that we've gotten here, this is not ideal. I'm gonna say that right now. This feels like a place where I'm gonna flip the truck. Come on, you can do it. Very slowly shift it around. Okay, I got it, I think. Oh. No, we're alright. Okay. I don't know, did I say that? I haven't actually been down this road before. I think I said that. But yeah, like I was saying, this thing has 270,200 torque, which is, like I said, a weird number, because usually they're kind of even 100,000 kind of values. But yeah, that's just kind of that's the torque value it has. So that kind of puts it between the Dairy Special and the Kenworth 963, I believe, in terms of power, and it's about on par with the Westline V12 M900 engine, which is the thing powering which is the top engine for the Slater Chimera, the 833, which we got in season 16 here. So yeah, it's got those kind of power levels, and or no, it's not on par with the West. No, that's wrong. Sorry, scratch that comment. That's wrong. It's not on par with that. That's I'm thinking of the Padera. That's around the Padera's torque value, I think. Yeah, but it's kind of between the Kenworth 963 and the Dairy Special. It's, you know, like I said, 270,000 torque, which is really, really good, honestly, but it's still not the most powerful in the game. The most powerful in the game still belongs to the FEM, the 37-AT. Oh geez, that could have been bad. I almost just flew straight off there. Yeah, the most powerful torque figure still belongs to the FEM 37-AT with 288,000 torque, and also it technically also belongs to the Kenworth T880, because that thing for some reason has 288,000 torque. I say for some reason. The reason why it has it is to make it a little bit more competitive against the all-wheel drive trucks, because it doesn't have all-wheel drive. It's a highway vehicle, which if I'm being honest, it does make it usable, the high amounts of power. But yeah, the 270,000 torque that this truck does have really does seem to be put to good use, I would say. It's definitely getting the power down. Also, I forgot that I still have the drilling spare in front of this thing. We'll drop it off once we get back onto the main road here. There's also a drilling spare down there. I'd grab that as well, but I'd probably drop it. So yeah, it's better. We'll just bring this one up to the top of the road here. No big deal. Yeah, it's through here. So yeah, beyond this point, once we're back on the road here, is just going to be a straight road the entire way back to the tunnel on Solace Bay, pretty much. So yeah, because of that, I think I'll fast forward. Once we get to the garage, I will go in, grab the Padera, we'll customize that thing up, and then we'll continue the fast forward to Solace Bay, and then we'll start using the Padera. So I'll see you guys here in a minute. Alright guys, and I'm back. So yeah, we'll customize up our Padera here, and then we'll head out pretty quickly. I won't actually start driving around in it though until we actually get some off-roading areas. Because yeah, we still have quite a bit of tarmac to drive on, which is kind of annoying. I would like to kind of test these things a little bit more thoroughly, but so far I feel like with the Avenhorn at least, that's kind of just felt like a stroll in the park, if I'm being honest. It's really quite good. But anyways, maybe that will change with this thing. So engines are called the KORDA. The Corda, I guess, I don't know. The 820B, we got 835E and an 860MX. No idea what those are referring to. Yeah, I believe that this thing's torque value is like 202,200 or something like that. It's not a very even number. Again, like the Avenhorn, it's got a weird. For some reason, it's just a weird kind of number. It's not. Yeah, I don't know. It's not just 200,000 or something like that. Yeah, we got kind of your standard range of gearboxes, except for the fact that this thing has special gearboxes. Now, the reason why that is strange is because this thing is in heavy duty class for some reason, for some unbeknownst reason. I have no idea why this thing's in heavy duty class. When I first saw it, I would have immediately thought either off road or heavy class. I don't know why this is in heavy duty. Yeah, and it's got a combination of special gearboxes and then kind of the standard gearboxes, because it's got fine tune and it's got high ranged for some reason, which is really strange. We do have a raise, so that's quite nice. And then we have 46s and 50-inch tires by the looks of it. I do believe I'm going to use the Padera's own tires once again. You know, its own custom set of tires once again. Even though they are only singles in the rear, but they are actually kind of wide singles compared to the fronts. You guys see that? The rear tires are actually real wide. Real wide rear singles. That's actually quite cool. Yeah, that's actually really cool. I didn't notice that at first. Okay, nice. Yeah, and also, just to address the thing that I was talking about the heavy-duty class thing, just look at all the trucks that are in heavy-duty class. Any of them, you know, stick out or look, you know, a small bit out of place. I'll give you a guess. It's this one. Because, like literally every other truck that's in this class is an American 6x6, except for the Kodiak. The Kodiak's the one exception to that rule. Yeah, so then you have regular array of medium winches, okay. Engageable diff lock. This thing's stuff is switchable, unlike the Avenhorns, which is all-wheel drive and diff lock always on. It has this really cool tire rack. We have kind of a side swept, and we got a front-facing snorkel, which that goes all the way to the top of the cab, so you know we're having that on the back of this thing. Yeah, I don't think those tires are going to stay on there once we get a crane and stuff on the back. This thing does actually have some pretty cool, unique add-ons. It's got this repair add-on, flatbed sort of thing, which is essentially a service body and a one slot sideboard bed, which is actually pretty cool and unique. It kinda is like the, was it the multi-purpose add-on? You know, the one with the repair add-on, the crane, and the one-slot bed for kind of a lot of the heavy trucks. And then it also has this thing, which is the Padera tow truck flatbed. Yeah, I don't really know what to think of this, if I'm being honest, because apparently you can't actually pack cargo onto it. You can only pack trucks onto the back of it. So it's not extremely useful in my eyes, if I'm being honest, because I mean, not only can you not pack cargo into the back of it, it's got sideboards on the back, and it's got sideboards on it, and it's not particularly long, so you're really limited to kind of hauling small scout trucks with this thing. Yeah, once again we have the Slater crane on here, and this thing also has the LC 3.8. I think this is a first for trucks in this game. This is the first truck I think we've gotten in this game that can have two types of compact crane on it, which is actually extremely cool. We are going putting that on because it's rear mounted, obviously, and then we're going getting flatbed. This thing has flatbeds, doesn't it? I could have swore it did. Yeah, it did. I was about to say, wait, it doesn't have flatbeds. It actually doesn't have a sideboard, does it? Where's the sideboard? Yeah, either I'm going crazy or I'm right. Yeah, this thing actually doesn't have a sideboard flatbed. Huh. Okay, that's kind of strange, but okay. And then there we do have trunk repair supplies for this thing as well, which is quite nice. 150 repairs and 120 liter fuel tank, so that's all good. Yeah, we'll throw on a few customizations here, like oh, those are some pretty nice LED lights, actually. Those look really cool. They fit with the sun visor as well, that's cool. I don't know, we'll go for the big heat shielded thing on this thing. Standard rims. I will go for kind of the standard kind of guard for the front bumper. The cage, it's a bit over the top, but you know what, to hell with it. And we'll get to it. Alright guys, and I'm back. I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to get rid of the time-lapse from here. So essentially where we are right now, just so you guys can see, we're in the concrete plant on Solace Bay. The reason why I came up to here was because, like I said, I want to test these trucks off-roading, whilst off-roading. I don't want to be just driving on the main road, because that's boring, let's be honest. Yeah, so we won't really get any good footage in if I'm just driving these things on the road. However, we still need to do a kind of a certain bit here of driving on the road, and also a little bit of kind of a weird run around here. What we're going to do is we're going to go up to the factory. We're going to drop off the cement just outside the factory here, and we're actually going to go in here and grab the wooden planks which are sitting here. They're actually for a job, the job being the North Bridge. And yeah, that North Bridge is the bridge that kind of goes up to the sand warehouse here, which we need sand. So yeah, obviously we don't need to do that, but it's literally on our way to go get the sand, so we may as well do it. It's literally on our way to do it. So yeah, we're gonna leave the Avenhorn parked there for the moment. We'll come back for it later, and we'll, you know, traverse the river with it and whatnot. But yeah, for the moment, we're going to take a look at this, see how this thing shines. Already, right off the bat, I can tell you that for some reason the truck seems to be very, and I do mean very, slow. Yeah, it really feels like the gearing is all the way down, and I think even Nathan Provence said something about the high gear in this truck. The high gear in this truck is apparently not fast. Not very fast at all, so yeah. Other comments that I have to make just about this truck off the rip. What on earth were the devs smoking when they called this thing the STD, Padera STD-4 or -4. What on earth were they smoking when they came up with that name? like like STD is usually you know, I'm not gonna finish that sentence actually. It's usually something you don't hear in a name of anything. Yeah. Also, another comment I want to make right off the rip as well is that so far I don't think I've actually seen anyone make a comment on what this truck is actually based off of. Now, I'm not sure if anyone else has figured it out yet, but I think I have figured out what this truck is based off of. And the only reason why I have figured it out is because I showed a picture of the truck to my dad, and he was like, "Oh, I know what that's based off of." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you're definitely right." And yeah, the truck that I think that the truck that we think this is based off of is an Astra. And if you don't know what Astra is, well, I didn't know what it was until, you know, like last week either. It's Astra, they're an Italian company that modify Ivecos. And they modify Ivecos to be kind of more off-road focused and more heavy duty, and they kind of modify them for the purpose of being used in kind of off-road kind of construction and mining primarily. That's what they kind of modify them into. So it's Iveco cab, and yeah, they do change the look of the front of the trucks a decent bit. That's the one thing I've noticed so far, at least looking through, you know, YouTube videos that I have watched on people who usually comment on this kind of stuff. Like, I usually watch Teleminus just to see what certain trucks are based off of, because usually he has the information. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of trust him as a reliable source in this game. But yeah, he had the truck that the Avenhorn was based off of, which, like I was saying, is the Hendrickson, also known as the Big Henry, but it's a 1964 era model. I don't remember if there was an actual name for the truck, but yeah, it's that is definitely the truck that Avenhorn is based off of. I mean, like, the resemblance is uncanny. Obviously, there are a few differences there, because obviously they have to do that to avoid copyright. But even in the case of that truck, like, it's not an extremely surprising truck to see be added to this game, because the SNOWRUNNER developers have a history of just adding the complete randomest trucks that were built over 60 years ago sometimes. You know, trucks from the 60s, 50s, 70s, you know, all the trucks, just the most random trucks out of history, just taking them and putting them into this game. Some of the trucks are so random and obscure that some of the trucks that we have in this game are so obscure that you can barely find information on them. If you do want more information on trucks that we have in this game, like history of trucks, I recommend watching Leftover Legend. That guy's pretty cool. And I'm just giving shout out. This is the shout out segment of the video. I'm just telling everyone to go watch YouTubers who are actually bigger than me. Like, yeah, like, why am I doing this? Yeah, oh well. Yeah, we're gonna drop this stuff off here anyways. Alright, and we'll just drive in here quickly and grab the wooden planks, which I do believe it's a staged kind of task mission that this job is for this North Bridge. You do actually have to drive here before the planks spawn in, I'm pretty sure, but I've already done the part where I drive over here, so yeah, we can just skip that. Also, I'm just now realizing as well, we can actually drop the trailer here as well, because we only need 2 package sand. So I'll actually do that as well. We don't even need to take the Yeah. Actually, if I were smart, I would have just packed all the cement into the trailer, or well, I would have packed 2 of the cement into the trailer then. Dang it! I hate when I realize I could have done something better after I've already done stuff, but that's just usually the way it works. All right, we'll detach the trailer there, and we'll take these planks to the North Bridge, and also grab the packed sand. Where was I on actually talking about this truck? I forget. It's a strange choice of vehicle, if I'm being honest, because yeah, like I was trying to say there, the SNOWRUNNER developers do have a bit of a history of picking weird and obscure trucks, but they're usually trucks that were built, decades ago. This thing was built in the past. This truck would have been on sale in the past 10-15 years, I'd say. So yeah, and also the fact that it's just a kind of a mainstream European truck as well. those aren't things that we see too often in this game. So yeah, those are literally the only reasons why I think this is quite an odd vehicle to see in this game. Come on, Padera, you can do this. But I suppose onto actual stuff about the truck and how this thing performs in the game. Like I was doing with the Avenhorn, I suppose we can start with the engine torque. The engine torque is 202,000, I believe, which is, it's pretty decent. However, it's for the trucks that it's kind of up against in the heavy duty class. It's not brilliant, because this thing it outweighs the most heavy truck in heavy duty class, which I believe is the Mack Pinnacle, by quite a bit. I don't remember how much though, but it is quite a bit heavier than the Mack Pinnacle, and the Mack Pinnacle has a maximum torque value or power output of 232,000. So the Mack Pinnacle is ahead of this thing in both power and weight. So yeah, I feel like this thing is in the wrong class. I genuinely think that this thing is in the wrong class. However, I can understand why it's kind of in the heavy duty class. After learning what this truck is based on, really, more than anything, that's the only reason why I have any sympathy to why it's in heavy duty class, because I suppose technically speaking, the truck that it's based on, I would kind of think of kind of a kind of more near highway use heavy duty type vehicle. But yeah, because the thing is, a lot of the trucks built by the big Euro truck manufacturers are mostly highway vehicles. You don't see too many 8x8s being built by them, and then yeah, most of the 8x8 vehicles that we have are 8x4s, or 8-axle configured trucks. Okay, so track this, cargo management. Very nice. You've really helped us out. We've been stumped for ages, so your help restoring the bridge is a real lifesaver. We genuinely appreciate your help. Have and we have your reward ready. Okay, so 470 XP and 6,000 bucks to do that, which is really quite good. That's a very simple mission, and it does give us a nice little bit of access there, even though I'm not sure how useful it is. But yeah, like I was saying, because of the type of truck that the thing is based on, I can kind of understand why this truck ended up as a heavy duty class vehicle, even though it still doesn't really belong in there, at least in the terms of this game. But yeah, back to the engine anyways. 200,000 torque, it's pretty good. Like I was trying to say, or that I messed up saying earlier, that's nearly the same amount of power that the Slater makes, the Slater Chimera, the ST-833 that we got in Season 16, which it makes, it makes 210,000 torque from the Westline V12 M900, which is a base game engine. So, yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm really feeling that there is a bit of a lack in the power to weight department of this truck. I am feeling it. It's yeah, it feels heavy, which so far we haven't gotten stuck, and we've been able to kind of clamber our way through most things because tires seem to be pretty good. The singles that we have on here, but yeah, it is not really that great power to weight wise. It's still manageable it's still manageable, don't get me wrong, it's still plenty good, but yeah, I can feel the weight in this truck whilst driving it, just because of kind of how slow it is and kind of how it handles, really. And yeah, then onto the tires. Tires, actually, you know, between this truck and between the Avenhorn, the custom tire sets really aren't anything that special, I don't think. They're kind of similar, really, to the tires that they're kind of competing against, if I'm being honest. I'm pretty sure these things are very close to an MHS1. There's really not much difference between... There's really not much difference there, and same goes for the Avenhorn's tires. I really don't think that the tire values are much different. The only real upside of the Avenhorn's tires is that they are much wider than the standard tires, and also both of these trucks get all custom or slightly tweaked all the tires that these two trucks have, you know, even though they're, you know, regular tire sets, they've all been tweaked for the two trucks. Like all the highway, you know, Jat highway, the all-terrain Jats, and the off-roads and off-road Jats, they've all been slightly tweaked for these two trucks. I'm not exactly sure in what areas, though. I think they might be slightly tweaked in like the tire weight department, but yeah, I'm not sure. But all the tires that these things have are not standard. They're all slightly different to the standard tires that you find on base game vehicles in some way, by the looks of it anyways. At least that's what I gathered from the forums anyways. So yeah, these two trucks, they are quite strange, at least in terms of the game. Yeah, and I feel like I'm just going to find more and more strange things the further I look into them. But yeah, at least fuel-wise as well, another thing that's not great about this truck, it only has a 250-litre tank. Oh, crap. No, don't flip. Don't flip. Don't flip. How the hell did that not flip? How the hell did the engine not cut out? That's a good one. Okay. I am extremely surprised. That could have ended much worse. Alright, thank you, Tree. Thank you. That is actually another thing that I could address as well. That the two both this truck and the Avenhorn apparently are quite heavy in terms of their cabs. So you do have to watch out for the stability on the trucks. However, it's not as bad in the Avenhorn once again because its rear tires are so wide. They're just so wide. But yeah, no, another like I was trying to say before I rudely interrupted myself. Fuel consumption, again, consumption on this truck isn't really bad. It's actually quite good. Like, I'm surprised we've actually gotten this far, because this thing only has 250 liter tank, and for an 8x8 truck in this game, 250 liters is it's comically bad, I would say. Um, Even though it's still not as bad as the Azov 5319, which only has 200 liters of fuel, which, like, whenever I think about fuel tank size, I always go back to trucks like the International Fleet Star and the International Paystar 5070, and both those trucks had 240 liter tanks. And in Michigan, whilst playing, at the start of the game, most of the time those fuel tanks were just good enough, and I do mean just good enough, to get the job done. And yeah, then as soon as you moved on to the other regions, you got trucks that had better fuel tank sizes. Yeah, so 250 liters, especially for a truck that's an 8x8, is comical. It's laughable, if I'm being honest. But then again, I suppose, it's a DLC vehicle, and you have to take into account the fact that it has an overhead roof rack, which has 120 liters, so technically you're going to be able to expand that to 370, which is pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good, if I'm being honest. But yeah, it's I don't know if I it's always a question in my head. Should I be counting that, or should I not be counting that? But I really don't know, if I'm being honest, if I should be counting the roof rack and the total fuel. I'll see you guys here once I just get back up to the metalworks, or the factory. Alright guys, so I'm back down here at factory. And yeah, we're gonna just run up here to the tunnel now. Actually, I didn't reactivate the job. Damn it. But yeah, other than that, I think I've covered pretty much everything on this truck. I'm not sure, if I'm being honest. Things I may have left out, but like I said about the Avenhorn, that these two trucks share in similarity, is the fact that they both have pretty low critical damage threshold, so they can't really take too much of a beating before you will start to notice a performance decrease, and the engine will go red and you'll start consuming more fuel, which is unfortunate, but definitely adds to game balance. That is one thing I would have to say. You don't always want to see everything just completely overpowered. And yeah, then the gearbox, having very efficient high gears apparently, and also no all-wheel drive penalty. Also, that trailer keeps trying to flip. If I'm being honest, using that small red trailer really isn't always the best idea. At least it has sideboards on it, but it's so unstable. Actually, I can't pack the cargo either, because if I try to pack it, I need to move the thing that's on the back of the I need to move the extra cement that's on the Padera. So we're just going to leave that unpacked and hope it doesn't fly out. Which, considering the fact that I haven't really managed to get up to much speed in this thing, I don't think that's going to be too big of a deal. But actually, taking into consideration some other facts, I'm not sure how useful this tunnel is going to be, considering, well, I suppose it's not that difficult to get to, but it depends on the truck, really. I'm not going to comment too much on certain things that, I really shouldn't comment on unless I have a good amount of experience with the trucks, which obviously I don't. It's only my first time using them, so I'm not going to go saying this thing's terrible on fuel consumption unless I'm sure of it. But otherwise, I'm just kind of telling you guys what I know from, I don't know, like Nathan Province's videos, and which I shouldn't be quoting him either, so in case I get anything wrong, don't believe me. Just don't believe me. Yeah. I would like to actually see what, how different this truck might perform with the OHDs, which I really don't know if it will perform much differently, but it'd be cool to see. Okay, I'm gonna park this thing here anyways, and I'm going to go down, grab the Avenhorn, which actually, you know what? It's just a quick thought. Actually, I didn't check out the cab interiors of either of these trucks, which eh, it's pretty nice in here. It's about what you'd expect, I feel like. Yeah, pretty nice interior as well. All the gauges are just in the middle because that's how little gear was probably offered on this vehicle. Like, this is a custom spec, made to order type vehicle, you know what I mean? It does actually have a fan in here though. That it spins. It spins. Oh my! It's like the P16 or the P12. Actually, speaking of the P16 and the P12, this thing, um, I'm almost 900% sure that's the P16's horn. So yeah, this thing has that thing's horn as well. Oh, also one other just small. I'm not sure if this is a bug or a glitch or something, but for some reason when you turn on the headlights on this thing, the auxiliary headlights on the bumper there, they don't turn on. I'm not sure if that's a bug, but it might be. Alright guys, and I am back here. Yeah, that's the tunnel actually. The box back here is actually the one for the mission. I thought it was going to be the one in front. But yeah, let's just go ahead and deliver this stuff here. Oh, I have 0 available because it unpacked, of course. But if I just pack it and then da-da-da. Okay, good, and we have to pull him into here. Okay. There we go. Done. The only way. Great job. Thanks to your delivery skills, everything is accounted for and the way is finally clear. Everyone can use the road now, and we couldn't have done it without you. Thanks again. Gateway is now accessible. 1980 XP, 19,600 bucks. I feel like that's fair enough for doing that. And yeah, now we have access to this gateway, which takes us to Selten River Mountains instead of Selten River National Park. Which I'm kind of annoyed that the game got updated with the tunnels like that before I finished season 16 or whatever. But what are you gonna do about it? It's not like I can revert versions. I don't think I can. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I can. It wouldn't be it wouldn't be much benefit to me anyways. But yeah, that's gonna leave us for today, guys. I have recorded for quite a while, so yeah, definitely no point in doing anything more. Final thoughts on the 2 trucks, though. Yeah, I like them. They're quite good. They're quite good off-road. The damage thing is a bit strange on them. The Avenhorn here, great power to weight, really does feel like a good heavy haul vehicle. The Padera, not so much. It's more, it feels like it's in the wrong class. It just feels so heavy and a bit underpowered anyways. But overall, I do really like the 2 trucks. They do perform very well for the most part, and you know, they're 2 unique. They're 2 very unique vehicles and 2 kind of brand new brands to the game as well. So yeah, overall, thumbs up from me anyways. So thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll hopefully see you all in the next one. Goodbye.